A woman fighting for her life this morning after being hit by a truck. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Montgomery.
And I'm Melissa Sheketoff. As of this morning, no one's even been charged in this case. Northfield police responded to the intersection of South Main and Central Streets near Norwich University. This was around 11 o'clock yesterday morning. Officers found a woman lying in the middle of the road after they say a truck driver was making a left-hand turn. The victim, who has yet to be named, was eventually airlifted to UVM Medical Center. That's where she is this morning. She was listed in critical condition. The incident remains under investigation.
Happening today, one man will go before a judge after a large cocaine bust in southern Vermont. Police say Shane David had more than 3 pounds of cocaine in his vehicle when he was stopped on Route 22A in West Haven Saturday afternoon. It has an estimated street value of close to $200,000. Police say the 23-year-old from Brooklyn, New York, also had more than 2 pounds of marijuana in the car. He's being held for lack of $50,000 bail.
And a woman accused of driving from police on 2 interstates for nearly 60 miles will be facing a judge this morning. Here's what led up to this. State police tried to pull over this woman, Caitlin Davis, in Fairleigh on Saturday night. They say it was a driving violation that they were pulling her over, but it took some time to do that. They say the Hardwick woman led them on a low-speed pursuit for 59 miles. It stretched from I-91 all the way onto 89. Police even deployed spike strips at one point, but Davis just kept on driving, and she was using the rims for another 20 miles. She was eventually arrested and now faces multiple charges.
It's now being called the deadliest week of wildfires in the state's history. We know this morning at least 40 people have died in the California fires. Fire crews say thanks to dying winds, two of the 3 most destructive fires in Northern California are now more than half contained. Some residents of the hardest hit areas in Sonoma County have been allowed to start returning to their homes.
It was really magical. Everybody loved coming and eating outside with all the shrubbery. I hope I can save those oaks.
We're getting a lot more black line up there. You're seeing those containment levels coming up. Things feel good in our gut as firefighters.
Pacific Gas and Electric Company officials say they expect to restore power to all its customers in the fire zones by late today. And federal disaster aid heading to the Granite State. Communities in New Hampshire have gotten nearly all the money they've requested from FEMA to recover from disasters in recent years. FEMA has awarded more than $140 million to the state. $70 million of that was for storm recovery, and the most expensive storms were in 2007.
And happening in the day ahead, this woman that you're going to see on your screen, Christina Fortin, will be facing a judge for allegedly attacking someone in Charleston over the weekend. Police say the 43-year-old is behind bars this morning facing domestic assault charges. State police say the victim was treated at the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries and has been released since then. And a Vermont man accused of attacking a family member will also be in court today. This man, 48-year-old Joseph Montgomery, is accused of assaulting a family member. Officers say he pulled the 27-year-old woman's hair, then choked her and held a knife to her throat. Luckily, she's okay, and Montgomery now faces first-degree aggravated domestic assault charges.
Mass shootings across the country have prompted Vermont's first responders to prepare for the worst. Priscilla Liguori takes us to a training exercise in South Burlington.
Training for a tragedy. In this drill, local firefighters are using mannequins to practice treating victims during and after mass shootings.
Those are things that you didn't typically think about even 10 or 15 years ago, and we're forced to have to think about that every time we put the uniform on and come to work.
Bradley DiTilio has been a firefighter in South Burlington for more than 16 years.
The environment that we live in today forces us to be forward thinkers, and we know that the environment in our country poses a risk for us.
The South Burlington Fire Department hosted an active shooter response training course Sunday. Burlington and Williston first responders were there too, as well as nurses and EMTs from across the state. The session was run by the Advanced Life Support Institute.
We're really focusing on what we would find at these scenes. So penetrating traumas from gunshot wounds, mass bleeding of a person, collapsed lungs.
So we review the use of tourniquets. We review the use of wound packing and direct pressure and ways to stop valuable blood from being lost.